bẹ́ẹ̀ pé wọ́n gbà ṣe sògbé dẹ́jú o jẹ́. Àwọn àṣà ìgbòho. Bí àbí o. Tó ọ̀gbẹ́ ìbílẹ̀ yóò bá ọba gbóhùn yẹn o. Bàbá yẹn gìtá. Petit, plateau fait sonner. Kaidaka. Pena paya posa gogo, mambo panjago. Apoblo akafwe. Wa posa nyoka fwe. Be afonte moi mani yo kwa kleju kiyen. Nyonjo si moi. Posto kata tuyo kwe atinyo di won. Emo nesse tocan Questi sono poco che Guede yebe Koworia Nakanda salute Postu o jata triyon Kwe a triyon de wan Emo nesse tocan Na questi sono poco che Guede yebe Koworia Kanige Na konkete nyan be wewe Na nyon sa an feble ane Yayo, wale yayo, lesa du woja, yesu kwa bete wakwa. Sayo boka dia. Ayiwe ne o. Sai bobo daji anu ana wise yiwo ba. Àwọn te yo pe mala ni debo anu e o. Anje. Yes, I'm going to buy the good mwege. Hey, imo, aja. Ema gay, wono, wala wala yes mi ambiano, ene de boyo. Oh, au. Sai bobo da kiano anda with ya yiwo. Sai bobo. So la que tampo benyo ne ba ye ne bobo e. Ne toni en la yo. Hey, ayiwe. Obo gbeja se wo ye, amoko kele ba. Kaidaka. When it goes to a jaco, let you know your cafe. I just know. This is what I say. Saibo, yeah. You like do I get more by one name on tele get by Potamu, Kayada. Planning Papa, Pinagasia, Paka on Lage, the Buesi, the BSC, baby. There's no yes, you don't look enough for Anya. There was a bob was a dress, you, Mammo, Balibo, that Giano, and I will say you over. I will. Saibo. If I do a ganja, do it so say. I just want to lay a bad to an apple, you see you okay. Wait, you, Ivo, Saibo. On the client, I walk like a bad day noir. It was a wasser. So, the one you're naturally found in the souffle. Say, Bobo, that Giano, and I will say you over. I'm going to away. I know Russell, baby, Russell. South Africa, your fault, your way. And you're for you, won't be and my one. I'm the Pope, and you're don't finish it, I say, oh, Claudio. Say, if I can work with you, I can't get. Say, Bobo, that Giano, and I will say you over. I'm a people, Swallow, in the Swallow. Vamos a tomar ya toda cinco balas. Vamos a hacer. Que por ser tu gusto bloque. Say ya me hace. Vaya no. Que el mundo ye. Yo pablo yo te monte ya now. Arriba hace oh vaya. Amo amorada oh. Say bote ya no anda with you. I wish so rulo dio vaya. So pero no Saibo, that young man now will say you there. Mopop man now live Mary, return your man, don't you? But you know I say, it's a mayo. That was the Yasu also won't go. I'm a rational, I say.
Alors, il a fait un son pour Mobile Production. cher Eric Claudé, le don de Dieu pour la musique de l'Ouest. Je te détesterai jamais. Jamais, jamais, au grand jamais. Mon bien production. Abia dia au bois. Amounia grand. Moi, to pierre. Moye, pierre, moye. Moye, pierre, moye. Ato pierre dia wele. Pierre, moye. Ah, pierre, we. Ndato pierre se prend seide. Ato pierre dia wele. Amosia o. Moye, pierre, moye. Mosa bosa iko moye. Pierre di mo wele. Mangoye mo. Ah, pierre di mo wele. Mangoye mo. Eh, pierre we. Ha, dia wele. Pierre moye. Moye. Oh, pierre moye. Pierre moye. Pierre dia wele ba. La poje yo dia wele. So no dunia mbe. Mo bli amado let's play. Jamon e chi bayone, ne. Mo waja chi bayone, ne. Ja, blebone na kanyopo. Siabu chena. De kanywe. Kanyon de koge se pedi de ya. Pierre moye. Pierre moye. Pierre moye. Ogarwa oyawesa. Moye. Jiblo no piyon boba. Derbono. Ma boye bleye Pierre we. Moye. Pierre moye. Mon bien production. Pierre mon bien production. Assez au clano. Ya o ya lo mo lo koje. Pierre moye. Pierre moye. Pierre moye. Erico na Pierre moye. Ah, Charlie na Pierre moye. Ah, to Pierre moye. Pierre moye. Ah, nous avons moins. Vive plan avons moins. Ah, nous avons moins. Pierre we. Ah, Pierre nous avons moins. Pierre we. Ah, Pierre moye. Pierre moye. Kayo pa de we, nembo kango. Ah, DJ. Ah, DJ we. baignon. Mon bois au sobicle, mon pauvre l'oignon, nous les gars. Mon vieux père de Michel, Tijo Bay. Apo Pauli Louo, Tao Beja, moi Wea. Mon pauvre l'oignon, nous les gars. Vieux Baya, assez mon wema. Oh l'oignon, nous les gars, mon pauvre l'oignon, nous les gars. C'est mon dernier de la bagnon qui a point bien c'est assis en Congo. En weva qui a pas mis mon boy en wea pas no wea toi qui bien de gagnant loa mon boy no nija.
Good evening, folks. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio. We're having fun already. I want to welcome all of you again. It's Monday afternoon. We're enjoying ourselves. We say thank you very much for joining us here. Today we're going to have the Honorable William Nyano going to be with us here tonight. And we will be discussing some of the bad roads. William Nyano, as I stated there, Honorable Nyano is an engineer, so he will help us out here tonight. So I hope you'll be able to stay with us and enjoy the program as well. Because this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Safety, 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 folks. The heat is coming down, so thank God for no news, no bad news. Good for us. But we have our brothers and sisters, enough of us here, that we ask that you guys keep them in your prayer because there's some serious, serious problem that is going on. And we're hoping that everybody will be fine. And because the fire over here in California is getting to be a little bit bad right now. So we ask God that God will continue to guide them. We'll be discussing Grand Jide Road tonight from Ganta all the way to the bridge because this is the road our people travel most of the time. As I said before, I was there and I took some video. I've been playing it from time to time. I thought that I'd do that tonight so that we can have a launching pad for the discussion that's going to be having here tonight. So stay with me while I try to get Mr. Nyano on here. We'll go ahead and open up with a very quick commercial here while we're trying to get Mr. Nyano on. And I want you to be mindful as well, because this is an age of technology and you never know what's going to happen. So we ask you to stay with us. This is Sam Sinto. Let's go ahead and listen to this commercial here. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio.
Everybody get our own hero. Down to the police. This go to A.B. Johnson. Some people got a hero to make. Your hero is your hero. My hero is my hero. My hero. Yes, I'm my hero. I'm 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 my hero. Yes, I'm my hero. Yes, they go to the show. What about your
Africanus Nathan of Nathan Catering Service. We are a full-service catering team. We offer varieties of menus and services to fit your budget. Our services include wedding anniversary, wedding reception, birthday.
Okay, folks, this is Sam Sinto. I'm being joined now by Mr. Nyano, who's going to help us here with some of the information here tonight. Mr. Nyano, can you hear me? Okay, folks, this is Sam Sinto. I'm being joined now by Mr. Yano, who's going to help us here with some of the information here tonight. Okay, Mr. Yano, can you hear me? Yano, can you hear me? Okay. We have. Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay. On the Facebook page, you're gonna have to lower the.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna have to lower the volume from your Facebook page because we can hear it from this side as well. So can you? Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, your voice.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go on. Thank you for joining us here tonight. I thought that I asked you to join me and perhaps help me to get some issue. We're going to be discussing some road issue here tonight. I'm going to be playing then, and I know there's some delay, but I will hope that you will be able to watch the delay, and then I will give you some time, then we can go through the process. But first of all, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You don't need any more introduction. We want to thank you very much for joining us here tonight for us to have a discussion from an engineering perspective, what is happening with our roads and what's going on. I know the government of Liberia is trying their best to have these road business issues resolved. We just heard recently they going to do from Coca-Cola factory all the way to EW Road, and quite recently also the government was able to show to the people of the Republic of Liberia that they have done some the progress that was happening in community, because the president told them 3 months ago, I mean less than 3 months ago, that they're going to have a road. Now it seems like the road progress is going forward. So we want to go and see if we can touch all of those here tonight. Are you ready to join us, sir?
Thank you, Samson.
Okay. All right. I know the audio is not that great from Mr. Nyano end, so please bear with us here tonight. Mr. Nyano, first of all, I want to thank you very much, like I said, to join us here this evening. Let's talk a little bit about the road. You and I have spoke earlier today, and you've been traveling the Ganta, Tapeta, Grand Judea Road. When I travel on that road, one of the things that I noticed, I know like when I travel it was summertime, but I could immediately detect that when the rain comes, some of the area that was going to be bad, because they have dug the area so bad that instead of having a ditch on the side of the road, you have ditch in the middle of the road. Do you know, can you give us some information on what you think is happening with that?
Samson, I think the thing to consider when you're talking about road is not just the section of the national highway from Ganta to Zwedru that is bad. I think people in Lofa and Riverses passing through there to go to Greenville, I think all of those have similar problem, and that is during the rainy season, this road just becomes impossible to drive. You know, I think one mistake we have, or one temptation we have to avoid, is to appear like experts on these things. Because, you know, I just drove on that road. I really didn't go there to do an assessment. So you just drive and you see the condition of the road. So it's quite possible when you are discussing these things, you may not capture the what's going on. That's why the last time when we talked about these things, I suggested that, you know, really it will serve the public's interest. One from the Ministry of Public Works who is more familiar with the issue will come on your radio or go on, you know, other outlets and kind of just educate the public as to what's happening. You know, you just described my distance explanation, at least from what I saw when I was going, was that, you know, you have to understand how the roads, the gravel roads, are maintained today. During the rainy season, like I said the last time, the clear sections of the road become muddy because there's nowhere for the water to go. There's no drainage and the water sits there and the clay turns to mud. Now, the way they maintain the road, at least from what I saw, was that what they tried to do is to clear the mud out of the road. And then unfortunately, when they do that, at least when you drive there, you see what they do. They take the mud out of the road and they pile it along the side of the road. So when you do that over time, certainly the roadway itself, the elevation, the grade of the is lower than the south parts up on the side. And so the situation works because now there's nowhere for the water to go. It's like you're creating a little reservoir in the roadway. So I think that's the phenomena that you just described.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nyaro. I mean, I know Mr. Nyaro is having some audio issue here, so please bear with us. We're trying our best here this evening. But then, Mr. Nyaro, let me ask. I know but for me, I've always put my foot in my mouth, and so it really doesn't matter because I criticized them from this vantage point, and I think what you said the last time and continue to say, I think it's something that I need to take into consideration, that our brothers and sisters are trying their best. However, it is easier to criticize from your position than it is when you're on the ground. But from what I looked at, though, when I was out there, I think these are things that perhaps I don't necessarily have to live in Liberia to know that these things are bad. Just watch your monitor on your laptop screen, because I'm going to be playing some I'm going to be playing something here, and I want you to look at it, and then we can come back to have that conversation, if it's okay with you, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. I got to get my laptop running again. So if you don't mind, I'll just walk away a few minutes because apparently my laptop has run out of power, so I got to replug it into the outlet.
Okay. In the meantime, until you come back, I will play 2 or 3 videos. So let's go ahead. Let's look at this video.
Oh, that's a sinkhole coming up. Slow down, that's a sinkhole. See?
Go on. Go.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, go.
This days upon days. This one, I'm not going to say anything. I just want you to enjoy and look at it. Look at it. This is supposed to be a roll. This is supposed to be a roll. Look at it. I'm deep, almost 10 feet into this hole. This is supposed to be a road. The top of the road is over there, way out. But look what I am. This is supposed to be a road. Okay? And this is clay, folks. This is, look at it. Look. It's clay. It's clay. Clay. You see it? All right? Watch yourself, son. Look at this. This whole thing. So as you can see here, they tried to do some stuff. It's not working. It's not working. So the idea is, what's this water coming from, you ask? Look up there. You see the hill? All of that water from the hill coming here. However, here we're supposed to be going straight downhill. Yeah, see? So when the water gets here, stop. All of the drain comes out here. But it made it worse by digging on the side, trying to fill this thing up. I just thought I'd show you. Very interesting. This is one of the major places where they say road cut off. And you see why. And you see why. I'm glad that I'm here during the dry season. Because I doubt if I can handle this, knowing the stupidity that happened here. I know that very well. I know what happened here is not right. And then for me to stay here and watch that, that would have been very painful.
3 weeks.
Look at it. No drainage, no ditch. Where the drain is going to go? Where the water going to go? All that water coming from the hill. Where do you expect the water to go? You don't provide any kind of drainage system. Where do you want the water to go? This is the bypass, they said. And the bypass right now, if you go up there, it probably look worse. Because all they do is just put a car on top of the hill for just a matter of time. Because you're going to experience the same situation. Okay? This is the bypass that they're supposed to have to go around. Okay? Sooner or later, you're going to be going into people's land. I'm surprised these people are not, because I bet the government is that's out of the right of way. Because I don't think they have anything more than 120 feet. So, all right, thank you.
Folks, let me do one more, and then I know Mr. Yano is ready for us yet. So let me do one more.
That's a sinkhole. Folks, my understanding with East Secretary now, so this is a Secretary market ground, and look at the ditch. Look at the ditch, and this is Secretary. Look at it. Look. No. Where do we go? In the middle of the road. The ditch. This is Secretary itself, right? Look at this road. This is not a road, folks. How do you get across the road like this? If it's raining, you can't. And this is a major town in Liberia. This is a major town in Nima County. I understand that now people they have a contract now to do the road from Ganta to Swedru, which is understandable. But the point is, why does it even have to take that long? You don't need, you can do a very common chip and seal on this road, and you're not gonna have these kinds of stuff. Well, it's not going to happen. Maintenance will create these kind of, a lack of maintenance will create these kinds of things. But what I'm saying, if you have a chip and seal here, I'm sure the people at Secretary will want to take care of it.
Mr. Yano,
they're not lazy.
we're getting ready to bring you on.
These are intelligent and well, proud people. In this
Mr.
town,
Yano, can you hear me?
Because I know about Secretary. But if you give them the crappy stuff, what do you want them to do?
I have to
they can't maintain
let
it.
Mr. Yano before I can bring him on.
Ridiculous. Look at this hole. Here comes another big hole here. In the town of Secretary.
Okay. All right, folks. Mr. Yano, thank you.
Something I can hear you.
Okay. So now the question is.
I can hear you.
Okay, all right, we're talking. Now the question that I have now, Mr. Yano, is with those kinds of things that is happening. How then do you expect some of us to just say our brothers and sisters are doing job that we should sympathize with them? You saw the ditch over there, ditch in the middle of the road. You saw the big hole in the middle of the highway. This is a major highway in Liberia. This is not a farm to market road. This is a major highway in Liberia connecting the southeastern side to the rest of the country. So you see, you see what I'm coming from? So it's just very difficult for me to say, yes, well, our brother, I know they're doing their best. But what is the reason that these people, they are engineers just like anyone else? Why is it that they're not able to do some serious engineering to say, do a calculation, common calculation for drainage? But most of the highway, they have no drainage system. So you have a hill that is almost like 7 to 8% grade. Water's coming down. Where's the water going to go? So are these people not capable to understand that the water must go somewhere, Mr. Nyano? I just thought I ask you, what do you think? What would be your view on this, Mr. Nyano? Water's coming down. Where's the water going to go? So folks, bear with us. Mr. Nyano having some audio issue here this evening, so just he also getting in. Okay.
Something. I mean, all that I can say is that, like I said the other day, I believe that there are competent Liberian engineers in the Ministry of Public Works, and I've interacted with some of them, and I know that they know the engineering, they know that, and the road doesn't have a crown. Then the water is not going to drain to the side ditches and then drain to the outlet. I think they know these things, and that's why I keep saying, to do justice to them and to give the public a better perspective of the challenges that they're going through, they really need to educate the public. Because I mean, like you're saying, when you look at what's happening on these roads, it really doesn't take a graduate to know what's happening. So, you know, I mean, I give them the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing. But it's like everything else in the country. It's not just roads. I mean, there are things in the country when you see that are not working, and you say, why aren't they working? I mean, traffic, for example, the traffic is chaotic. Why? You know, is it that the police don't know how to do traffic control? So there are things that are happening in the country that are not going well, and I just who are responsible, the benefit of the doubt, that they are trained to do the right thing. Perhaps they are being held back from doing those things by constraints. Now, what those constraints are, I mean, that's what they need to tell the public. You know, I mean, really, that's all I can say, because when you look at the road, like you say, it's obvious. You know, you don't do any drainage calculation. I mean, you need to know that if there's no crown, the water will run on the road itself. And if your side ditches are not properly constructed, then the water will also overflow onto the road. Even when the water goes down the hill you show, if you don't have an outlet, then that down the hill becomes eventually like a low reservoir.
Yes.
So again, I mean, I just want to give people who are doing these things, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and but they need to come and educate the public. Because the risk we run, something, here's the risk we run. Those of us who are now in the country, and I think our impatience and bewilderment are justified. Because like you say, you look at these things and you think the solution is simple or relatively simple, and then it's not being done, and then so you wonder why they're not being done. I think we need to be cautious in our criticism, if you may call it that, or our questioning of the things back home. I think we should question them. I think we should raise the question. And I think it's incumbent upon those who are charged with the responsibility of providing these public service to come to and explain to them.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Nyano. First of all, let me just make something clear quickly. These view that I'm showing you here was not the view of the role on Dr. Weir leadership. These were roles that happened before he came to power. So let me just make that point clear. I want people to know that this is not, I'm not blaming any government officials or whatever, but I believe there are those staffs of public works that are still there. Mr. Nyano, let me ask you this. That particular spot of the road is between Ganta and Tapeta. And I know it's a public highway. Who responsibility is this to maintain? Is that the county or it is the government of Republic of Liberia through Public Works?
Well, again, it's one of those challenges, something in Liberia, because there is not a clear division of labor when it comes to a lot of public works. You know, you will assume that the interconnections between connect county capitals will be the responsibility, and then it will be responsible for the feeder roads, the ones that go from the county capital to the farms and villages. But again, that's just a logical assumption. Now, there may be something within the Liberian government that lays that kind of arrangement out. I haven't seen it, but you would think that would be the case, because, like I said, in the 70s, even in the 80s, Public Works did maintain those roads, and Public Works had maintenance crews strategically located around the country. It was his red road. That responsibility after every rainy season to go and make sure the roads are conditioned for the rainy season. That section of the road you're talking about, all the other major highways in Liberia will be the responsibility of the Ministry of Public Works. But again, like I said the last time, I don't know if I said it, but I think I did. Remember now, when the government was reconstituted, when Mrs. Salif won her first term, what they did was to restructure the Ministry of Public Works. And they said the Ministry of Public Works should get out of the construction business. They should be a regulatory authority. So the Ministry of Public Works, as it exists today, has no real capacity to do construction. I mean, even to do serious maintenance, right? So they have to outsource all of this work. I mean, the road to Grand John, the road I will always complain about, because I went on that road one rainy season. I came back to Monrovia. I called the Assistant Minister for Construction at the Ministry of Public Works and expressed to him my concern that, in fact, when I heard a lot of people were panicking that particular rainy season, things would be difficult in Zweru because they anticipated the road would cut. So when I came and I called him, I said, what's going on? And then he said to me, we have a contractor on the road. He's mobilizing and he's going to go to do the maintenance, and we'll do it in time before the heavy rain set in. I knew they couldn't do it. But the point I'm making is that they have these contractors that are supposed to maintain the roads. And when he took that, I think I talked to the contractor myself. And the problem these contractors run into, they don't get paid on time. It takes so long for them. And once they don't have the resources, then they can't go out there and go do the work. So the lack of resources is one thing. The other thing that to take into serious consideration is who is supervising these contractors. Are there standards to which they are supposed to maintain these roads? And if they have standards, Public Works, make sure who goes there and adhere to these standards. One of my friends was on one of these major road projects, and he was in an open forum. Now that he was telling us, in the corner, in an open forum, that in fact he could not get to the site. The contractor didn't take him, and no transportation. So the contractor that he is supposed to be supervising, that he is supposed to be checking to make sure he does the right thing, is the one who will have to come for him and take him on site. And if the guy doesn't take him, then he doesn't get there. Right? So, there are a bunch of things. And you talk about the fact that these problems are not problems that are a result of the current government. That is true. But if you look at the Ministry of Public Works, at the technical services level, I think the people who are managing the ministry technically are the people who managed the ministry the last time when Ellen Johnson was there. Right? So, again, for me, I just say we need to extend an invitation to them to come and explain some of these things.
Again, folks, if you're listening, this is Samson Tour here this afternoon. Armo Wolanyano, who's a professional engineer who has practiced engineers here in the United States for so many years, also practiced in Liberia for so many years. Even before coming here, he used to practice there. Then he practiced here, went back home, practiced some more. So he's not like Samson Tour, who have not practiced serious engineering in Liberia. So it's a little bit different here this afternoon. But Mr. Nyano, you explained earlier. Let's talk about the managerial style of the public work, if you don't mind. So my thing, what I've been saying all along is that public works, it seems to be some sort of a huge management, construction management firm that is just there to manage the affair of whatever construction that is happening at the time. They do not have tools whatsoever. And in fact, that's also brought to us displays the last time when the Minister of Public Works said that during the rainy season, they didn't have equipment. They didn't have heavy equipment. So, Mr. Nyano, you think, what position you think these people, just from looking at their way of doing things lately, and you being an engineer, I know you also paying attention to those kinds of stuff. You think those folks that used to manage the public work that are still there, you think the new public work minister will try to find a different path this time around, or you think perhaps they will continue to do what they were doing during early time?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I got your question. What was the question?
My question was, so whether now that we have a new minister, even though the technical affairs of public works ministry, those that were there before are still there, so perhaps they might think to practice the same way they were doing. But the fact that you have a new minister, you think the new minister, just from you looking at the situation, you being an engineer, you think the new minister, with his new action and what is happening, you think they're going to take a different path this time around?
Well, that's a good question. I think there's a culture in Liberia and maybe in most African countries that we need to overcome. And when I interact with engineers, younger engineers, what I try to impress upon them is the need to do engineering. You need to do engineering. And now I understand the current Minister of Public Works is an engineer. And in fact, he graduated from the engineering school at the University of Liberia. So he is an engineer. He understands these things that we are talking about. The problem in Liberia is that we engineers, when we interact with, we then I wouldn't say completely throw away, but somehow we take off our engineering hat and go political. Say for example, when I was driving to work one day, and President Sirleaf, at the time they were paving the SKD Boulevard, the one that connects Somalia Drive to UN, and she drove on that road that day unannounced, and then there were motorists coming. The contractor was paving one side of the road and the vehicles were on the other side, and it was a little chaotic. So when she got through the inspection, the news people went to her and she issued a directive. Then she said they should close that road to all motor vehicles. That's what she said. So I was driving, going to work, and I said, man, if they should do that, the traffic is going to go nuts. Well, it happened that it did not happen. They did not close the road. Because I went to her after she made her statement and said, Madam President, you can't do that. Because if you close that road, it means all of the vehicles on Somalia Drive will have to go to Red Line to Pinsville before they can get to Monrovia. So I think that's what engineers should do. Say, for example, if the president goes to the minister, I want you to pave this road in the rainy season. The president is a president. The president is having a lot of pressure on him. He doesn't know engineering. He doesn't know, like you were saying, soil characteristics and how to build roads. So reacting to the political pressure, he might come and say, do this. But you as the engineer, the president, and say, this needs to be done, but it can't be done the time you want it. We'll do it so and so time, or we'll do it so and so way if you want it to be durable. So that is a challenge. So I'm hoping the new minister, since he himself is an engineer, that he will do that. He's to his profession. That he's not going to allow political pressure to make him do things that he knows engineering-wise are not right, and that in fact after he leaves will cast, you know, a dark picture on his tenure at the Ministry of Public Works. Is to resist that political pressure, and it's not just a Ministry of Public Works. I mean, you go to places like water and sewer, they say, oh, we need water on this side, and you know you don't have the capacity, right? And then you say what's going to supply them water. You don't have the capacity. So, you know, leveling with the people and leveling with the political leadership is something that I think we technical people need to muster courage to do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Again, folks, that's the voice of Mr. Nyano, who's giving me, we're talking engineering here this afternoon. And so if you care to listen to us, we encourage you to do so, because we will be discussing a little bit more here. But Mr. Nyano is only going to be with us for about an hour because he already have a previous engagement, just agreed to join us here for about an hour. So Mr. Nyano, you just say here that the technical people need to find somehow the toughness and say, Mr. President, this is not something we can do overnight. But just from looking at what is happening now, do you think that kinds of thing were happening? They said they wanted the whole community road to be built in 3 months, and yet it is. In the rainy season, they've already getting ready to open the road, and now they're saying again they're gonna do the road from red light to ELW junction. From a technical standpoint, do you think that they're gonna, because they're talking about 4-lane? So does it mean they're gonna have to bring the road to standard to a team 4-lane because houses are all over the place? Number one. Second thing is that area suitable for 4-lane? You've been driving around that area before. Do you think that's something that's suitable for 4-lane?
If the area is suitable for what?
For 4-lane road.
Well, you know, that project has actually been in the making for quite some time. I think I remember maybe a year or two ago, the engineer that was doing that road, I think they are from the Ivory Coast, came to water and sewer because they wanted to know if there were utilities in the road that they needed to take care of. And I saw the preliminary design from rail light. It was actually from rail light, I think, to ELW junction. And in fact, at ELW junction, they're supposed to put an interchange. And I saw it. I saw the design. They were completing the design, and that was like about a year or two ago. So I think if they adhere to that concept at the time, I wouldn't be surprised if that design is done now. Because when I looked at the design and then I looked at the development at the ELW intersection, since I saw that design, you know, I even thought they had abandoned the idea because now they build more durable structures in where the interchange is supposed to be. There's some real serious buildings that have been constructed since that time. So I don't know, you know, maybe they did some reconfiguration, but it remains to be seen, you know, because I wouldn't think that such a major project they would just do on the fly. There has to be design, right? And if you have a design, you have the layout, you have to show the structures that are in the way and what's gonna happen to them. But I did see a design. I did see that interchange from this engineering group. I think they were a French engineering group.
Let's see. Folks, if you're listening, this is Samson Toh, my guest, Oromo Wolanyanu, former president of Grand United Association, and also professional engineer who has practiced engineer here in the United States for a very long time. Done a lot of structure here in the United States, so I'm not going to go through all of that. But anyway, Mr. Nyanu, the next question here that I have is, let's talk about the role from, and you've been, I was in Liberia recently as well. So, when I mean recently, I mean almost a year ago. It's not as recent as you. But anyway, the role of the, how do you call it, Tottenham Boulevard, from former President Taylor House going all the way to EW. When I look at the traffic, one of the things that came to mind is, why can't they have some sort of a grade separation where you have a grade coming from that hill and just go on connecting it with a bridge and let it die down around Painesville area, Joe Bar area, and then you have like a roundabout underneath the bridge itself that will take traffic from one side of the road and go through EW, and you have an off ramp as well. Or you think I'm dreaming too much here, Mr. Nyanu?
Well, again, I mean, it's difficult to discuss these things in isolation, because that intersection at the boulevard, the SKD Boulevard, and the main road is a major traffic bottleneck. I mean, yes. Everybody in Monrovia knows it. And again, I would be surprised if people who are, responsible for road work in Liberia themselves don't know that is a bottleneck, and that the way to correct that problem is a great separation, like you were saying. All that I can say is, why it's not being done, because that design is going to be complex, yes. Right? Because you don't have a lot of extra right-of-way to do the grade separation.
Right.
You have to put in an overpass somehow,
right,
to connect Tottenham Boulevard to SKD Boulevard.
Right.
The design is going to be a little challenging because of the structures you have there. But it's something, you see, and that's why for me, that's why I'm a little confused, and I've been confused for quite some time about this problem of roads and regions being isolated during the rainy season. Because right now I think everybody's excited that the government is trying to get this money that has all this conversation we are having. But the idea is the government really wants to pave these roads. But now, I mean, even if you're not an engineer though, how long does it take to pave a road? It's not something you do in 6 weeks or 8 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. From Ganta to Zwedru is 133 miles, about 214 kilometers.
Right.
You got bridges on the road.
Right.
How long is that going to take you to pave that road? First of all, you're not just going to go there and lay asphalt. You have to recondition the road. You have to rebuild the road. You have to rebuild all the drainage structures.
Right.
Bring it up to grade.
Right.
And then you pave. How long is that going to take? 12 months?
No. If
you do a 12-month job on that road, then you're just saying you're wasting the money. So that's why for me, I was saying, if I had anything to do with this whole road thing in Liberia, I would not go for pavement right away. What needs to be done, in my humble opinion, is to take one dry season after the rainy season and do an assessment of these roads. Right. Because look, when I drove to Zwedru, the first time I went back and I drove to Zwedru, there were sections of the road where my driver was speeding at the speed vehicles travel on that road, the velocity that vehicles travel on that road in the 70s. Those sections were good. Mm-hmm. And I mean, those here for us, when you go faster than me, you're going 45 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. The car was going 45 miles an hour. So the whole road, the whole section of the road is not bad. So what I would have done at the end of a rainy season, I would go and catalog all the bad sections. Mm-hmm. And that's where I will focus the resources first. Because I think the plan should be to make these regions accessible year round. Then you case, which is to pave the roads, which is to upgrade the whole road. So I'm going to identify those sections, those low-lying areas that need additional culverts or need bigger size culverts, road sections that need to be built up because now we're down to the clay level. Identify those areas. And then if you're even going to outsource them, and if you have enough contractors and enough LIBERIA engineers to supervise them, they can do a lot of these road multiple contracts. They can do a lot of these bad sections in 1 or 2 rainy seasons. Once you do that, and people can get through year-round, then you start with your pavement scheme. How long is it going to take them to pave from Buchanan to Greenville? How long? It's going to be years.
Right.
I don't care if they have all the $1 billion right now and they give it to them. It's going to be years. It's not going to be a few months. So then what do you do in the interim? These sections are cut off now. Would they not be cut off next year?
Yes.
Or is the plan, once you get these contractors to pave the road, then they will first go and make the roads, drivable year-round before they come back and do the pavement. So, I mean, I think those are things people need to explain, because I know right now there's a lot of pressure on the government, and the government itself is eager to deliver.
Yes.
But if they don't take time, in the end, we're going to get a lot of money, and then we're not going to get the best use out of that money. I think the thing to do right now is to be patient and get real competent people, highway engineers, drainage engineers, and put them together so that they can develop a plan that will give us a quality product when these roads are done. Let's focus on making these roads drivable so that next rainy season, the regions are not cut off and it can be done.
Okay, Mr. Nyaro, stay with me. Let me take a quick commercial here, and we'll be right back, and then see if we can have a last statement to close it up, because I think you've been with us for quite a while now, and we appreciate that. Just stay with me here 1 minute or so. Let me do the last commercial, and then we can call it quit here. But stay with us. Samson told LIBERIA Public. Listen to this.
Off of Woodland. Everyone that's looking for nice African for wedding, whatever fiber you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need ashebi, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She had really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then they're going to be telling you all kinds of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fiber you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and ashebi hand ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fabric Queen on Woodland, 95 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome, 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 welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products that will make you shine like the queen of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodland Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrics Queens in Philadelphia is easy insult of the LIBERIA Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Akwaba.
Folks, this is Samson Tour, live on LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you for listening. We're getting ready to wrap it up here very shortly. I have to take off Mr. Nyanu now because he's also going to be going. Mr. Nyanu, can you give us a last word here? And then, hold on. I'm still having some Syria. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Nyanu. Can you give us your wrapping here? And then we can get out. Mr. Nyanu, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering, can you give us a wrapping here, and then we can take a leave of you, because I know you have other previous engagement.
No, I didn't hear you, something.
I said, can you just take us, give us some last statement here, and then we can take a leave of you.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I just like to say I want to thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. I know the issues that you discuss on, each of these shows, the issues are very critical to the country. And, I think the goal, I think we all want the same thing. We want to be able to address the challenges in Liberia. And one of the ways to bring along your people, your public, when you're faced with difficulties, one of the most effective way to bring your people along is to give them information, is to let them know what is going on, what they can expect. And when there's a plan, and I mean, nobody expects that any plan will be executed 100% the way it was designed. So as you go along, you may have to tweak here and there, but the most important thing is that you bring your people along by keeping them informed. This issue of the roads is very critical. I mean, it's unbelievable that after more than 12 years, 14 years since the war ended, we're still talking about regions of the country being isolated during the rainy season. I just think that is unacceptable, because I think there are people in the country who know what to do to deal with this problem. And my hope is that this new government will take a new approach. I think if they just want to start head on with going to pave these roads, I'm not sure if that would be the most effective way to handle the problem. I think we need to do an interim solution. It's going to cost money, yes, but if we do that interim solution well, it will keep, you know, our people moving and keep the sections of the country connected while we do the permanent solution. So again, I just want to say thank you, and you know, I'd encourage you again to try to reach out to the folks at the Ministry of Public Works. My friend Claude Langley, he is the Deputy for Technical Services. If you can reach out to him, even if he cannot come, maybe one of his engineers can come. I'm really interested in hearing what they will have to say. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Nyaro. We will try to utilize a servicing net so that you can connect us with Mr. Claude Landry and some member of the public work to be make sure they can join us. But I want to thank you very much this evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Nyaro. We will try to utilize a servicing net so that you can connect us with Mr. Claude Landry and some member of the public work to make sure they can join us. But I want to thank you very much this evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Nyaro. We will try to utilize a servicing net so that you can connect us with
Thank you, Samson.
Thank you. Okay, folks.
Yeah, bye-bye now.
All right, bye-bye. All right, folks, this is Samson to Libera Public Radio. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off short here tonight because we have some technical thing that is happening here in the studio as well. We have people that are fixing things, so I don't want to get in their way. They're going to come and straighten that stuff. And we're trying to improve our studio here as much as possible. So I want to thank all of you this evening for joining us. Please join us again come Friday. 3 in tomorrow for Mr. Soul Show, where you will be able to have some wonderful, wonderful information as well. We want to thank you very much. We say let's do it again. Join us Wednesday, where we will be able to bring you some more information. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. Good night, folks. Sam Sinto, Libera Public Radio.
Mon amant.